I've been bitching a lot about what I see as a lot of inaction from leading Democrats on this
Mhm,
issue who fundraise consistently off of it,
mhm,
saying they're going to protect Roe and they're going to protect, the right to have an abortion. And in addition to mainstream organizations, like Planned Parenthood and like others who, again, are sort of in the nonprofit industrial complex system, and they, text us and email us incessantly, and
Constantly.
and then you're like, okay, well, for my money, I'm assuming you guys have had a plan to stop this onslaught, that you saw Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh and Gorsuch, all upcycled from the bog of the
mhm,
fucking Federalist
mhm.
Society. Like, you all saw this coming, and we've got some sort of plan to fight this, correct? And when you don't see that plan, at least on a federal level, and we're so patchwork with Democratic states having to do their own little, okay, you know, trying to enshrine abortion rights, which is great, but it is still so piecemeal. I get frustrated at like
Yeah.
our movement, at like the left, at the liberals. What are your thoughts on that? And how do you feel like, what are the openings now in terms of strategy?
Yeah.
Where do you think of
Yeah.
the where have people dropped the ball?
Well, I think it's so layered, right? I think
Yeah.
that first of all, there you must be proactive when you are going to try to solve a problem. Joe Biden has never said the word abortion. There's literally a website that says "Say Abortion, Joe." He's written it down once, but if you can't name what you're fighting for and you're not proactive about expanding access in
Yeah.
ways, and you can't, then you're not giving it a moral framework. So that's one big
Mm.
problem, is that we stigmatize it ourselves. I think that clinics that provide care need to step out of the way and provide care and
Mhm.
help those who are activists and messengers do that work. I think that people associate, I love Planned Parenthood, they have incredible services, but if you get $250 million from Mackenzie Scott,
Mhm.
that money needs to be given to the independent providers who actually do almost all the later abortions in this country, who are not Planned Parenthoods, who are community clinics.
Mm.
And three, our movement, and they also control the narrative and the messaging, right? And so I think a lot of times what happens is, if you have a lot of money, you will adhere to these laws instead of fighting them.
Hmm.
Don't build a surgical center. Fight to the death to say, hell no, we won't. Because the smaller clinics can't build a surgical center.
Mm.
Just don't. Like, come together as a movement. We need an act up. Our organization is really leaning in and will that
Yeah.
we need an act up in our movement that isn't just taking to the streets and screaming and dressing up like stop dressing up like handmaids. And I'll tell you why. Because Handmaid's Tale was based on the oppression of African women and co opted into the bodies of white women. To
Mm.
take
Mm.
someone else's oppression and put it into privileged society absolutely erases the narrative of what women of color have been through. That is
Mm.
why we don't dress up like handmaids. That is why you don't just blanket handmaid stuff. And so when people say and ask you, especially leaders of color, and say, don't dress up like handmaids, please don't.
Mm.
Stop throwing hangers around and being like the hanger people,
Yeah.
because self-managed abortion exists in the form of pills, and we want to get those pills to people safely. If we end up in a country that criminalizes abortion, there are safe ways to actually self-manage your abortion, and we
Yeah.
want people to get that information, right? And if
Yeah.
you, the more you focus on hangers, the less you're actually getting the information about safe ways to self-manage your abortion out there. So those
Yeah.
Right.
things are super important. So I think that we need to do more big, loud, fun actions that raise awareness. When they on a larger scale that doesn't involve like specific stuff.
Mm.
But every time you do an action, you should center people who need amplification, abortion funds, and do that. So that leads me to, I feel really excited because a lot of people, I really see another thing happening like happened when Trump got elected, where people were like, I don't know what to do. And so then people marched in pink hats, and the people that organized the march didn't understand how important reproductive health rights and justice were in all of this. So they didn't center it, and they never center it. So on July 17th, we are producing an event that's called Operation Save Abortion. And what it is it's going to be a super dope live stream that's not like this, not like a conversation like this, but it's on a stage with a whole bunch of different, like sometimes speakers, sometimes interactive, sometimes TED Talks. And we want folks to gather together and have house parties instead of marching. And you're going to get an immersion into all the different aspects of abortion activism, so that you can have this fulfilling day of learning all this stuff. And then you will be hooked up with what speaks to you and with the capacities that you have. So that
it's like the Super Bowl of abortion.
It's like the Super Bowl of abortion, but you get to walk away understanding actually what's been done, because no one talks about it in the media.
Yeah.
And then where you can hang your hat, and then where you can tell your other friends to hang your hat, right? If you're somebody who's like, I don't think I have the temperament to escort patients because those asshole guys I want to kill. But maybe you would want to work on a hotline that was trying to get poor folks connected with money. Maybe you are somebody that's good at that. Maybe you'd like to be an abortion doula. That's a great job. You hold the hand of somebody having an abortion and you're just there for them because they came alone. Great job. Maybe you're somebody who wants to really lobby and really get pro-choice candidates. You're going to learn all about all the ways and then be like, oh my God, I want to be that person. And then we vet you, and then we'll hook you up with organizations in your community so that people can really do what they need. And we can help these organizations on the ground doing the work, help them grow their activist bases, help them also onboard people if they're small so that they can actually have somebody helping them with the capacity of growing, and that we can actually see movement, and that people can actually see what's happening. So I
love that. And so that's July 17th, and tell me the name of it again.
It's called Operation Save Abortion. We're going to be doing an announce in the next couple of weeks. But if you go to aafront.org and sign up on our mailing list, we will send you the registration as soon as everything is going to be announced. And it's going to be really cool. It's going to be a really, really, really great event. You're going to just hear from all kinds of really cool people doing all kinds of really cool stuff.
Amazing. I love that.
So have a house party.
I love any excuse to have a house party and gather people together and watch the stream and learn.
I'll make dip.
Matt will make
dip.
That's what I'm good for.
I think that's really, it's like, it's in the ways that people have like ballot parties, like statewide ballot parties where you're like, I don't really get the ballot. It's all kind of like wonky and blah.
Yep.
And I like that because it's like educational and social, and that's gonna be so good.
Yeah, and then there'll be little breaks in between so that you and your house party will get like assignments, and you'll be able to interact with the people there. So like people are going to be on a stage, some people will be like having a really intimate conversation. Some people are going to be doing like TED Talky stuff. Some people are going to be, so it's all going to be look really cool and feel very energetic. I feel like that is,
and performing live abortions, obviously.
Oh my God, obviously. But we might do it. We may do in medical school, early abortion. Oftentimes they will show you how to do an early abortion on a papaya. A papaya is the size of a uterus.
Interesting.
And it shows you how you go in and then you extract. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Now I just want papaya, but also that's really dope. And it is life. I mean, it's funny because we're talking about those providers. The last thing I'll say is the guy that I met in El Salvador runs a clandestine, clinic. I was like, why do you do this? And he was like, because my mentor looked me in the eye and was like, do you want to save lives? Like, if you do, I want to teach you how to do this and you can be a provider. And he was like, yes. And then he did. So it's just like, it is life-saving work. It is so important. What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.